Good afternoon, guys. It's me again. It's me again, Rhoda Young Live here with Tony Goodwin. Okay, guys, we have another candidate running for Portsmouth City Mayor. I'm doing my best to get all the interviews in before November 3rd. Remember, November 3rd is the deadline when we have to get our votes in for who's going to be the next mayor of Portsmouth, Virginia. Once again, I am the infamous Miss Rhoda Young Live. Well, I have the pleasure to interview Tony Goodwin for the city mayor of Portsmouth, Virginia. Good afternoon, and how you do?
Thank you very much for having me.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I've been dying to get this interview with you, and thank you for allowing me to come in.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Tony, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who are you? How old are you? And what's your relationship with Portsmouth, Virginia?
Well, born and bred here in Hampton Roads, born in Portsmouth,
Okay.
and lived from the western branch section of the region to all the way to the ocean front. But when I found my wife, we were married in 2000, came back, and now we've been living here since, of course, that time. And my daughter, of course, is a Churchland trucker, so we're a proud parent of a teenager.
Oh, how old is your teenager?
She's 13.
All right, oh, 13. She just became a teenager too.
Yes.
All right, all right. Gotta get your big dad pants on now. She's 13. What is your visions and why are you running for office for the city of for the city of Portsmouth for mayor?
Well, Rhoda, I've been working in this town for about 25 years, either being on volunteer boards and commissions and professionally as a real estate agent and working in the economy in Portsmouth, because I find that I have a strong passion for this city and really making it a better place for everyone in the city. My overall goal is to see that Portsmouth is a major contributor to the Hampton Roads region. It's truly a geographically located right in the middle, and that's always been what I find my passion in.
So you telling me Portsmouth, Virginia is actually right in the center of the 757?
Yes, it is.
Wow,
Yes,
I never
it is.
knew that.
You can get to just about anywhere in the 757 with less than about a 30-minute drive, depending on, of course, traffic. But really, it comes down to it. Not only is it the mile marker 0 along the intercoastal waterway, but it's also in the middle of Hampton Roads.
Is that why they put the tolls on the Portsmouth Tunnel, because they know everyone has to come through the tunnel?
Well, those tolls have obviously became an issue back when they added them back on. They actually had tolls to start with, but
it was only like 5 cents and 10 cents.
Yeah, it was relatively to the economy at the time, but they've added them back on because unfortunately when they were given to VDOT fully paid for, VDOT didn't take care of them, so they ended up having to find out where they could find the other options.
Do you remember when the bus used to come across the bridge and people actually caught the bus on top of the bridge?
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember those steps well because when we were moving from the Western Branch section to Virginia Beach, they were just finishing up the second bridge in Berkeley.
Oh wow, oh wow. Do you remember the ferry in Portsmouth, Virginia? They used to take the cars from one side to the other side.
That predates me a little bit.
But do you remember anything about it?
But I've seen plenty of pictures, and I'm a real big history buff, and I found that is definitely something that happened back in the day.
Are you ever thinking of, if you become mayor, would you be thinking about bringing the ferries back into the city of Portsmouth, Virginia, where we can actually put cars on boats and go from one side to the other side without going through the tunnel?
Well, the passenger ferries have been continually running, which makes the ferry service in between Norfolk and Portsmouth probably one of the oldest ferry services in the country.
Okay.
With that small period of window between the time that the car ferries closed down to the passenger ferries. Ironically, I'm more of a believer of multimodal. Transportation is kind of something I watch closely, and what's new in trends to where Norfolk, of course, introduced light rail to the region. Hasn't been as successful as they wanted it.
Okay.
But it had, I think Norfolk has started the process. It might be a way that we can work with that.
What about people saying you are too nice to be a mayor? They say, Tony, you're a good guy, but you're just too damn nice. How you feel about that? People say you're really good. They would love to have you as a mayor, but you're too soft.
Well, I'm not soft, but I'm stern. I definitely make sure that when I come to understanding how to process and also work on the solution for the people. I come into the room with an understanding that we have to have a win-win-win situation, and I will argue that point in most cases to make sure that it's a win-win-win situation. It should never, any negotiation that I'm a part of should never be a win-lose for anyone, because at the end of the day, it just becomes too difficult to deal with.
Well, I heard the only reason you running for the city mayor is because you're here to split the votes, and it wasn't for you being in the race. That the race would really be between Danny Meeks and Mr. Glover, Shannon Glover. They said if you wasn't in the way, then the race would really be between Shannon Glover and Mr. Meeks.
Well,
how true is that?
It's interesting that you bring that up, because quite frankly, the ballot is about as simple as it can be. The ballot's in the order of when the declarations were made by each candidate. And with me being the guy 5th out of 6 on the list, that obviously tells you a different story. Why would the 5th person be the split vote or the spoiler in an election like this when you're actually already there and the 6th guy comes on board? It's kind of a different situation.
So what you're saying to me, the way the ballot is set up according to the declaration?
Well, each individual candidate files their paperwork. They've obviously been certified that they are a certified candidate, and it's based on the fact that the first one is first, and obviously the last one is the last one to file.
So if you were going to split the race, you're saying you came in before the last person came in?
Yes,
on the ballot.
that is correct.
Okay, so there's no way you're trying to split the votes when you got your paperwork in first.
Correct.
Okay, so let me know about the senator, Mrs. Lucas. Mrs. Lucas, the senator, who is she backing in the race?
Well, it's very confusing when it comes to this race, because, you know, a lot of rhetoric is going around that I'm the guy that's working with the senator, and that I've got some deal that I'm working out, so I can be the spoiler. And
What is a spoiler?
Well, basically working to pull votes away from one candidate or the other.
Okay.
And that's not true.
Okay.
That's not true whatsoever.
So who is Ms. Lucas backing?
Well, the evidence points out between the fact that the contributions are going to Mr. Glover.
So this is a financial report right here, and you're stating, sorry my soda made the thing wet, you're stating that Mrs. Lucas is really backing Mr. Glover, not you.
Financially, yes.
Financially,
correct.
She's backing Mr. Glover.
Yes.
And this is open to the public?
Yes.
She made a $5,000 donation to Mr. Glover.
Yes.
But financially, you say she's backing her. Why did you specify financially?
Well, because that's what I'm being accused of, basically, by my competitors or my opponents.
But
now,
on this text message, someone else says that on this text message right here, it states that another candidate says that Mrs. Lucas is actually backing them.
yeah, and that's what makes it really strange. You know, it's partisan politics, and it's just full of bullshit, quite frankly.
Okay.
You know, the whole thing.
Let me read this to you.
Sure.
No, I have a lot of people supporting me, including was Louise Lucas.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what another candidate said.
Correct. And that came out in April. That we really found that being just making it so strange that one would state that they would have her support, but then the other one obviously gains her financial support. I'm one man, one candidate running for the office as my own self, financed by family and friends, and there is no other questions to that effect.
Okay, so the answer to who is Miss Senator, the answer to who is Senator Lucas supporting, you don't know really. Financially, you got a report. It says she's backing Mr. Glover. You got a text message from someone else with the phone number ending in 336 saying she's supporting him. Is she supporting you?
No.
So right now we just don't know. It's undecided who she's backing.
That is correct.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Just like that.
Yeah. Well, again, you know, as anyone does in a race, your senators, your delegates, you ask for their support, and that happens with all races, no matter what. And I would say, you know, the phone call was made by me back in February, that it was said, no, I'm not supporting, I won't be able to support you, I'm only going to support who the Martin Luther King Steering Committee supports. And that was end of story.
So you did ask her for her support?
I asked her for her support.
And she told you no?
Yeah, and that's the end of the story.
And that was the end of the story?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you're done with that. What is so important of having a senator support or someone in her position backing you? Why is that important?
Well,
or is it important?
Well, let's face it. You know, you're a city inside of a state that obviously has representation all the way to the state capitol, and things have to happen. You have to keep business going, and so I really think that it's wise to have an understanding where you're at with when it comes to gaining support for keeping the city moving in the positive and forward direction.
I know you soft. Well, not soft. I ain't gonna use that word. I know you're nice.
Yeah.
And I know your wife don't like you to go back and forth with people, but I'm messy.
Yeah.
So here's the mess. Block time, bitches. Who is cutting up your signs that you put out there? Y'all did all that work, paid all that money to battle signs, and all of a sudden all your signs has been cut up, baby. Back. Yeah. Who you think doing it?
Well, you know, that's about $1,000 worth of signs that basically get cut up. And as we stated in the report to the news, is that we are simply running a positive campaign. And let's face it, people are not happy with the way we come off as the positive person in the room wanting to do for the people of this city. And, you know, I knew that this was going to get messy. I was warned by friends that said, hey, Tony, is this the right thing you want to do? Yes, I'm fine with that because I'm a strong candidate to stand up for the people and what's right for the people. Them cutting up my signs, you know what? I look at it as that I must be a threat because I must be doing something right.
You must be doing something right, but they allege, guys, that he cut his own goddamn signs.
Yeah, that's as far as from the truth as it should be. That's for sure.
So what you say, your signs got cut up. Okay, this is straight from Tony. This is not alleged. This is across the board, and you can connect the dots with this. He said your ass cut them up. Whoever did it, you watching right now, he said you cut his signs up because he is a threat to this campaign. And you know that he might make mayor in this election, just like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Since you don't want to say it, I said it for you.
Thank you.
Just like that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now look, what about the Virginia palette, baby? Baby, bad. We got all the tea, boo. We got all the tea right here in the Portsmouth, Virginia, baby. Look, the chairman of the Portsmouth Electoral Board, Bill Watts. I thought that was your friend.
You know, Bill and I, we had an understanding back at the primary election that we knew our boundaries. I knew it. I knew I was a certified candidate. He knew he was the chairman of the electoral board. And we knew where we stood. I was not asking him for an endorsement. I was not asking him to support me. But to get a phone call out of the blue, middle of the day from him, to say, listen, you know, you've heard what's happening. It makes a lot of sense. You need to just step aside, get out of the race. But what makes me
your friend asked you to step aside. How? They ain't your friend.
An acquaintance, I would say. But at the same time, he's wrong as wrong can be. You know, this is a person that should have a true understanding of the integrity of this election. What he's not telling, what really makes me madder than anything is that says everyone that has voted for us up to this point, everyone who's intending to vote for us, obviously means nothing.
So what you telling me, because I might have bumped you a little bit, you telling me your so-called alleged used to be, won't be no more, bad boo, Postman, your friend, asked you to step down because he didn't think you were going to win.
Well, that was very clear. That was very
Look
clear.
him right in that camera and tell me how you feel about what he said to you, right now.
Well, this is truly something that I'm more concerned about, the fact that the intimidation in taking a candidate out of the race less than 30 days from the election is, again, something that should never happen in today's world, because we are a country of transparency, and we must be that. If not, then basically what's the real difference here?
I got your back, homie. Mr. Watts, who the heck you think you are gonna call my homeboy and tell him step up a race that he might win? Matter of fact, he is gonna win it. Don't you ever do that again, or I'm gonna come interview you. Rhoda Young Live. Rhoda Young Live. Rhoda Young Live be on the scene of that bitch. All right. Look, from this point forward with him, how you gonna deal with someone like that? How you gonna deal with people that's bullying you for being in the race, you've been bullied allegedly, you feel intimidated allegedly, you say you feel for the life of your family allegedly. Not like somebody gonna hurt you, but if you gonna be bullied if somebody else lose the race, or if they don't win, people. You say you feel as this what you told me, and this ain't no like this what you told me. So I'm gonna be straight up with you. I don't know how to be no other way. You told me you feel as though, and you're a little worried if somebody else don't win the race, then you might be bullied, you and your family, because they're gonna think you threw the race.
No, I want to make sure that I do the best I can for the people that I'm representing, for the whole city as a whole across the board. My goals are very clear. This city needs unification coming out of this major pandemic, and I think that my willingness to step up to the plate and serve these people in this city the best I can is truly what my goals are. Now, I do have this fear of when this comes across as an intimidation tactic to step out of the race, and if I don't step out, everybody will be mad at me. No, that ain't gonna happen. So this what he said? That's not gonna happen on my watch.
They were told you that? That's what you was told?
Yes.
Wow. How do you intimidate somebody running for office if he don't step down? Everybody gonna think he threw the race, and you want him to step down for somebody else can win. You're not a friend. A friend do not tell a friend something that his heart desire, something that he want to do, something he worked so hard to do, to step up the race for somebody else can win. That's sad. Friends like you, I don't need no enemies. I am the infamous Miss Rhoda Young Live, where you did see it here first, before Wavy News 10, Channel 3, and also Channel 13 News. Mr. Tony Goodwin said, just because he's not in the middle of the political BS, do not count him out. He's here. His voice is loud. He said he ain't got time for the drama. Save it for your mama, just like that. Before we leave, take the camera.
Listen, Rhoda, thank you very much for coming out, and I want to just tell everyone that this is a race of full transparency necessary to get this city back working for its people. We are all stakeholders in this situation here, and we need to see this city actually working for the people. I bring to the table the experience, the institutional knowledge, and the true desire to make this city work, and also contribute to the overall success of the 757. When you don't have all 8 cylinders working in your engine, the engine is not working at all. So this is where we need to come off the plate and get this city back to going again, and coming out of this pandemic being in the front seat rather than the back seat.
Amen to that, brother. And what vision do you see for the beautiful historical downtown Portsmouth? What vision do you have for that?
Downtown Portsmouth should be a destination for many, but also the home for as many as we can put down here, because this city has truly a gem to share with the Hampton Roads region, the 757, and being right in the middle of it all, we should be the heartbeat of Hampton Roads.
Just like that. I am the infamous Miss Rhoda Young Live, where you did see it and hear it here first.